You know how we're always curious about the coldest places in the world? Well, this is it, the Oymyakon region of Siberia. It holds the record for the lowest temperature ever recorded below zero on Earth, reportedly reaching minus 71 degrees Celsius. It's so cold that your breath instantly turns into tiny ice crystals. One can't help but wonder, what would a day be like alone in such an ice desert? Interestingly, life here is much different than we might imagine. For example, cars have to stay in the garage. You can't start them again if you leave them outside. Even writing with a pen is almost impossible. The ink freezes instantly. So, in essence, every moment is a struggle. Personally, I think surviving a day under these conditions must be a story of resilience far beyond ordinary existence. The view you see when you wake up and open the curtains reminds you how fragile humans can be in the face of nature. This story is precisely the story of that day, that icy silence, and those difficult moments. Truly intriguing, isn't it? The day actually begins with waking up in that legendary temperature of minus 71 degrees Celsius, a temperature so chilling that even thinking about it sends shivers down your spine. It's such a cold that you feel unbearable cold, not heat. Even the inside of a small hut is far colder than the coldest refrigerator we know. The first and most sacred task is always the same, to melt the frozen water and revive that vital fire. Believe me, being able to ignite a spark here is no ordinary task. It's practically a battle for survival. As you hold the lighter with numb fingers and try to create the first flame, the fire becomes not just a means of warmth, but a symbol of the human spirit's resistance to freezing. Stepping outside here is less like a leisurely stroll and more like embarking on a mission to spread out. Think of it like an astronaut landing on Mars. Every inch of you must be covered in layers of clothing and breathable insulation. A delay, a neglected wrist, or an exposed ear, it doesn't forgive. So, essentially, this constant state of being suspended in the air invites a painful, freezing sensation within seconds. Of course, there are no taps in the way we know them. To get your water, you have to embark on a treasure hunt, as it were, frozen in time, cutting blocks of ice from frozen rivers with an axe. Carrying these blocks is a race not only against physical weight but also against the relentless cold. With each step, as you carry the increasingly heavy block of ice on your back, you feel your body temperature dropping at the same rate. The mark it leaves on your shoulders is not only the mark of the weight, but also the mark of the fear of turning to ice. When it comes to food preparation, there's actually one thing I'd call the biggest advantage of this place. Every corner is a giant natural freezer. But that doesn't mean it's easy, of course. The real struggle begins when you take a piece of frozen fish or meat and put it on the stove. Waiting for that icy hardness to slowly, drop by drop, can sometimes take hours. It's not just a cooking process, it's practically a ritual of patience. Sitting in front of the fire, watching that slow transformation, you feel how slowly time itself moves in this cold. You truly appreciate the luxury of a modern microwave defrosting button. I think the real struggle begins not with the physical cold of the storm, but with the endless silence that surrounds you, left alone with its relentless roar. While everything outside is white and frozen, inside your mind feels like it's running through a labyrinth. Loneliness lurks around every corner like an insidious enemy. So how do these people manage this psychology? Personally, I think the answer is most likely hidden in rituals and solidarity. A small, meaningful task for every hour of the day. The ritual of brewing tea, the hours spent checking the fire. These are like anchors protecting the mind against chaos. Visiting neighbors isn't a luxury here. It's a kind of life support. The proverb, your next-door neighbor is your soulmate, is a tangible reality in these lands. Interestingly, these harsh conditions may also teach people a kind of philosophical serenity within their own small universe. Everything is slow and deliberate. Rushing is impossible. This necessary slowness for us offers an opportunity for introspection that we have lost in the modern world. This silence, which constantly reminds us of our vulnerability in the face of nature, is perhaps also a mechanism for being alone with one's inner voice, for building resilience from within. Just before dawn, there comes a moment when the cold seems to gather all its strength in a final burst, and the warmth truly hits rock bottom. I think this is the most treacherous, most insidious time of day. While everything is frozen and silent, That tiny voice inside you makes you question whether the fire is weakening or simply that your hope is fading. In those dark hours, keeping the fire alive becomes our most basic instinct: survival. It's not just to warm your hands. As the flickering reflection of that red flame plays on the walls of the room, it's proof that your soul hasn't frozen either. Adding another log isn't just fuel. It's a silent way of saying to this icy world, I'm still here. So in fact, it's not the increasing warmth you feel when the first rays of dawn appear, but the strange pride that fills you for managing to keep the fire burning. Life here is like a delicate and obligatory dance built on extremes. Every breath, every step becomes a constant awareness and a small challenge against the cold. This is the story of a single day spent at minus 71 degrees Celsius, and when dawn breaks in this forgotten corner of the world, that deep and ancient dance will begin again for a new round. Perhaps through this experience, these people attain a wisdom of patience and resilience that we may never understand.